Came out, didn't start off too well. They were driving on our slant routes as they were all game, which obviously ended up being a weakness for them. And the last play of the game there, Coach Sanford and Coach Kelly always say, in the 2-minute drill, the best thing to do is get the first down. And obviously we got it, we got rolling, got into a little rhythm. And once you're in a rhythm, it's kind of hard to stop the Irish. We got some of the best receivers in the country, and when I have targets like that to throw to, it makes the job pretty easy for myself.
Were you thinking touchdown or just getting the field goal range?
I didn't notice the time until about literally right when the ball was snapped and peeked up and noticed there's 20 seconds left. And at that point in time, it was like, all right, we got to make something happen. We're right on that borderline field goal touchdown range, and so obviously they gave me a shot play, and we took the shot, and obviously it ended up pretty good for the Irish.
DeShone, it's your football team now. How prepared do you think you are to handle what's facing you starting this coming week with Georgia Tech?
Well, Coach Kelly always talks about next man in. So since day one, which started way back in June, I've been preparing as if I was going to be the guy. I try to compete my butt off against the league all camp, and expecting for some time to come eventually throughout the season, and now it's here. And now I got to look at the guys, some of these seniors in the eye, and let them know that I'm the guy. Might be a little different. Obviously you're going from a guy like Malik, who is a very bright and outspoken guy, and I'm not really that type of guy. But obviously I'm going to have to change my ways and learn how to where my place is on this team. So we'll see how this goes, and obviously we'll prepare for Georgia Tech next week. And
you have no question about your own confidence?
No, not at all. Not at all. I've been ready for a while now. I honestly believe. I have all the confidence in the world in my ability to be the quarterback of Notre Dame, and now it's my time to go.
When you had the read on fourth down, when you had the 2-3 yard run, what did you see there? Coach said it was up to you whether it be a pass or a run. What did you see on that?
I knew it was going to be a tough run. I'll tell you that. Man, are those guys good. They came out to play. That defense was really on it. I knew that there was going to be a tight hole. They were doing a good job disguising their coverages. I didn't necessarily think that with the way that they drove on Will Fuller's slant earlier in the drive, I didn't know if it was necessarily the best to go to a quick game, so I kept it myself and just kind of try to grind it out for 2 yards. 2 yards isn't necessarily the longest run in the world, and I knew that I could fall over and hopefully get to that line.
What's going through your mind when they're looking at Malik and they tell you to start getting ready? What's running through your mind on all that?
Not much. It's kind of weird. I expected that I was going to be very, very nervous when that time came, and obviously I go to bed the night before game, trying to prepare myself for that moment to happen, and I just kind of blanked. It was time to play football. That's the only way I could look at it. It was just, I looked at Jalen Smith coming off the field and Sheldon Day coming off the field. They look at me and said, "Hey, look, you got to win us the game here," and that's the only thing I had in my mind. I wasn't going to be the guy to go out there and quote-unquote lose a game for the Irish. I prepared way too much. We prepared way too much. We put in way too much work for me to go out there and not give nothing but my best and hopefully come out with a victory like that.
Anybody say anything that really stuck with you, whether it be Sanford on that or BK, or you mentioned Jalen and Sheldon?
It was Jalen's words really stuck with me. Jalen came up to him and he said he trusted him. And Jalen, as we all know, doesn't say too much. And he's a very to himself guy. He only really speaks up when really spoken to and when he's put into a very serious position. And he came up to me and he said, "Hey, look, I trust you. We got to go win a game here. We didn't get the stop that we needed. Now I need you to take it over." And obviously, we went out there, and with that in mind, there was no stopping the Irish. Coach Sanford and I talked earlier today about the 2012 team and how they went about their season. They talked about never losing, and you just kind of have to have that mindset to refuse to lose, and that kind of soaked in that last drive that you can't lose in that situation.
How much did you remember of that team and what Reese did and all that?
I didn't really follow too much in the season. I knew that they were a very, very hard-nosed, back-to-the-wall type team. I knew their defense was very, very good, just like ours is this year. I don't want to necessarily compare the teams, but I think that we have some great guys this year, and hopefully we can head in the same direction that team headed.
Do you understand why teams defend Will Fuller the way that they do?
No, it's a scheme. We go in week in and week out and plan on how we're going to get our playmakers the ball. Whether it's Will Fuller, whether it's Amir Carlisle, whether it's our tight end play, or our backside receivers with Breezy and Court Robinson. You got to dink and dunk team because people play top down on us. We like to push the ball up the field. We saw it last year. We saw it in the Texas game. We like to push the ball up the field. So in order for things like the last play of the game to happen, you got to play catch a little bit and throw the ball short and get them coming up on the ball, and eventually, hopefully, you call it at the right time for a play like the last play of the game to happen.
Those two series right before the game-winning touchdown drive did not go well for you guys. What was kind of your mentality going into that drive, and you guys did you do anything better on that from that last series there?
Yeah, it's all about being comfortable. In that first drive, I came out. It was very slow. I was being a typical freshman QB out there for his first serious drive, and I took too long to get my protection down, and all of a sudden there's 2 seconds on the clock, and I'm clapping for the ball and hairing up trying to hit the ball, and now my footwork, isn't the best, and I end up throwing the ball right into Derek my first play. That's obviously not the way I wanted to start it, and so we continue to go, and the offensive line continued to say, hey, look, we got you as long as you got us, and as you get comfortable and you really start setting in, you start playing the game that you've been playing. I've been playing since I was in 4th grade. It all becomes. You saw the pass to CJ Procise rolling up right and throwing it back left. That's just playing ball. That's the only way you can look at it.
Anything else, guys?
The 4th down run, the game-winning drive, how did that unfold from your point of view, and then of course the game-winning catch there?
4th down run, obviously went into call a timeout, had to burn one there to get the perfect play called, and we understood that they were playing, like we said, top down, and they didn't go deep on it, and then all of a sudden it changed that complete mentality to drive up on our route. So we knew that if we gave a run pass option and got into the right play at the right time, that we were going to be able to grab it. So obviously I ended up keeping the ball and falling over for the first time that we needed. And the last play of the game, as I mentioned before, didn't necessarily know that I had the amount of time that I had on the clock, so I was thinking field goal the whole drive. Just kind of dink and dunk them, throw a dig backside, throw a sling here, come back there, and all of a sudden, 20 seconds left, and they give me a shot play. And as Coach Denbrock said right before the drive, all you got to do is execute the plays that we call it. You don't have to call anything on your own. You don't have to make any crazy checks. Just whatever we call, and just try to execute it. And obviously, they call it double move Will Fuller. I'm grateful that I executed.
Because you pulled off that drive, how much confidence does that give you going forward, and how much you think it gives the team confidence in you going forward?
I can't necessarily speak for my team and how they feel towards me. I know that they made a great adjustment from Everett to Malik, and now hopefully they'll adjust to me. We all have different leadership styles, and hopefully that my team will help me out and pull me up into the position I need to be in to lead the Irish to another 1-0 next week.
Was that aftermath of that touchdown something that you remember at all, or was it just kind of a blur? Do you remember anybody coming up and saying anything to you?
It was kind of a blur. I'm gonna be honest. Once I let go of the ball, I thought I underthrew him. It's just kind of instinct that when you throw the ball to Will Fuller, you underthrow him. So when I saw that he was striding out and he was chasing the ball down, I knew if there was a good shot that he was going to catch it. Didn't necessarily knew he caught it right away, but I saw Nick Martin taking a dead-on sprint to the end zone. I decided to follow him and saw Will Fuller in the back of the end zone cheering. So that was obviously a very, very big moment in my career.
Did you know that was a touchdown before the snap? Did you know that's where the ball was going, or did you need to see some things happen?
Not at all. Like I said, they played so in the first half. They're playing so top down. They're backing up and expecting us to throw the ball short and trying to make us throw the ball short. So I didn't necessarily know that was going to be a time where they're going to drive on the ball. Obviously, with 20 seconds left, you expect guys to play deep. You expect them to keep everything in front of them. So I didn't necessarily think that was going to be the right way to go. Obviously, I keyed on the corner, and the corner drove in the route, and Will Fuller's speed is just unreal. So he just kind of left the guy and put the ball out there for him.
Thanks, guys.